Here we go. You should have already watched the introduction video, and that included an overview of all the sentence parts we're going to learn this year, and that's what you're looking at right now. However, don't get stressed out. Don't worry. It's not going to be that bad. In fact, to start off, let's go ahead and do this. All right, because we are not going to worry about any of these subject blocks or noun blocks for right now. We're only going to look at 4 action blocks. Notice that these are all questions that you would ask if something happened. Each one answers the question about the action that it is. For example, where is going to ask where did the action take place? When did the action take place? Why did the action happen? And how did it happen? Earlier, I told you that we were going to be labeling sentences. And so I'm going to show you what that looks like. It's pretty simple. Let's do a few of those so you can get the hang of it. Okay. Let's look at the first sentence. The student scribbled furiously in the study room into the evening to finish the essay. First, let's find our main sentence block, the subject and the action. Who or what is the sentence about is the student. And what did the student do? The student scribbled, right? Furiously tells us how with an adverb. In the study room tells us where the action took place. Into the evening tells us when it took place. The student was scribbling furiously into the evening. And finally, to finish the essay is the reason why. So why did the student scribble into the evening? Because she needed to finish the essay. The teacher dissected the complex problem at the board during the final minutes of class. Our subject is the teacher. What did the teacher do? Dissected the complex problem. Notice that our action is a little bit bigger than just one word. In the case where there's a direct object, like the complex problem, remember that the direct object answers who or what about the verb. So dissected who or what, the complex problem. We're going to leave the direct object with the predicate and the action. So the teacher dissected the complex problem. At the board tells us where. And during the final minutes of class tells us when. The debate team clashed intensely to defend their argument at the competition. Who or what is the sentence about? It's about the debate team. What did the debate team do? They clashed. That's our action. Intensely tells us how. They clashed to defend their argument. That tells us why. And at the competition is going to tell us where. Simple, easy peasy labeling sentences. All right. So I'm going to expect you to do this by yourself in just a minute. But before that, let's go over what you're going to do. You're going to see one sentence block in isolation and decide what it is. Should be very simple. Across the bustling playground, what would that be? That would be where. To escape the looming deadline tells us why. In a hushed whisper tells us how. Next we have because she was running late. That actually tells us why. Found the book is actually action. During the morning assembly tells us when. Scan the sky. Another action. With trembling hands is going to be how. Behind the old bookshelf, of course, is where. And finally, we've got the president of the club, and that's our one and only subject in the list. So this should be pretty simple. I want you to do this page for me. If you have the Google Drive version, you can simply grab the answer just like this and drag it down. Or you can add text boxes, or you can simply just write in the answer. So let's see how you do. Welcome back. Now that you can label sentence blocks in isolation, I want you to practice labeling actual sentences. If you're using the Google Slides version, I set that up to where you can simply click and drag. You could also add text boxes and label. If you're doing the paper and pencil version, you can write the answer underneath, okay? We'll do the first one together. Volunteers met at the beach early in the morning to clean the shore. The subject is volunteers. Volunteers is who or what the sentence is about and what action they met. At the beach tells us where they met. Early in the morning tells us when they met. And to clean the shore tells us why they met. All right, so go ahead and do these, label these sentences, and let's see how you do. Tomorrow, we'll get started with a puzzle, and then we will focus on the where and the when groups.